How long do you have to wait if a German says gleich? When is sofort and when is bald? Learn this and more in today's video. Hey Rabbits, it's Trixie, and there are plenty of ways of expressing in German when something is going to take place. If, for example, your mother asks you when you're going to do your homework, you're gonna be like meh and say, I'm going to do it in insert time here. If you tell her something like in 1 hour or this evening or tomorrow, then it's pretty clear when it is going to happen. But you could also say something like, later, or at some point, soon. Or it gets a little bit more complicated to say when the homework is going to be done. The same that applies to English also applies to German. There are quite a lot of specific and non-defined ways of saying when something is going to happen. And especially the vague statements may be very confusing for some foreigners. This is why I want to help you today. In this video, I will explain to you when gleich is compared to jetzt, or bald compared to später, and many, many more. So are you ready to learn about the time in German? Then let's get started. Of course, there are many options of explicitly stating when something is going to happen in German as well. Something like in einer Stunde or nächsten Sonntag or am 19. September um 13:55 und 14 Sekunden. But these are pretty self-explanatory, so I will exclude them from this video's content. For those of you who are interested, here is a slide showing all of them that I could come up with, so you could just pause the video, write them down and learn them if you want to. However, the more interesting parts are the statements about time that you need a feeling or experience for. Sofort, gleich, demnächst, bald, nachher, irgendwann. When is that? So let's design a little graph together. Let's draw a line with the left end meaning now, as in now, and the right end meaning never, such as in never ever. Let's agree that this is a time span of seconds to minutes, this is minutes to hours, hours to days, and days to years. Yeah, the last one pretty much covers everything from days to years, but believe me, this is just how it is. Now let's talk about a bunch of time-related German words moving from now to never. The most immediate term that I can think of is sofort, and it always gives me the chills because my mother used to use it when I was in trouble. Trixie, komm mal her. Sofort! If a German tells you sofort, then this means seconds to minutes max. So let's say that this is the most urgent and put it here, given that he or she literally means it and not just says it in a joking kind of fashion. Of course, you can also say, Trixie, räumst du bitte die Spülmaschine aus? Ja, sofort. But for the purpose of this video, let's focus on the literal meanings of these time statements. Something really close, but yet not quite the same as sofort is jetzt and nun. While nun is more often used in the written language, jetzt is the word that comes the closest to the literal translation of now. Again, this means that something is going to happen within seconds or minutes. So let's put it here-ish, a bit more to the right than sofort, because sofort is more like right now, while jetzt is now. Then there is the beautiful German word gleich, which I guess causes a lot of confusion because the English language doesn't have it. It means something like in a bit. It's like this typical thing that you say when you need to do a task, but you don't feel like it right away. I need to tidy up my room. Gleich. First, one more YouTube video. We all know that that's a lie. So yeah, gleich is not now, but it's also not gonna take so long until something happens. So let's put it around here, still in the seconds to minutes section, because waiting for 1 hour would be too much for gleich. Now let's talk about something funny, because there are also some combinations of the words we've already learned about. You could, for example, say jetzt sofort or jetzt gleich. Jetzt gleich? Well, what is it? Now or in a bit? I admit that this sounds a bit paradox, but while jetzt sofort is just sofort with a bit more emphasis, jetzt gleich simply means now as well. Personally, I would say that it's now with a slightly bigger buffer, just in case. Like if I say jetzt, I really mean it and I have to move my ass, but if I say jetzt gleich, then I have like these couple more minutes of getting up from the couch, drinking the last sip of coffee and then get to it. In conclusion, let's put jetzt sofort here and jetzt gleich there. Something similar to gleich would be in einer Weile, in einem Moment, or in einem Augenblick, which all basically means like in a while or in a moment. If you hear in einem Moment, then it's not gonna be a matter of hours, more like seconds to minutes again, really similar to gleich, so let's put this fella here. Little side note, der Augenblick literally means in one eye's glance, so you can assume that you're not gonna wait for long if this is the time span we are talking about. Next up, später, which simply means later. You can assume that it's not gonna happen right now, and also not like in a bit, but at least still today. A similar expression would be nachher. So if a German tells you later or nachher, you can be sure that it's gonna be like a couple of hours, but still before midnight of the same day. Therefore, in my opinion, we should put später here and nachher here, a bit more to the right. Because, you know, it's just a feeling of mine that nachher would be like 1 or 2 hours later. Now let's talk about demnächst and bald, which can both be translated to soon, in my opinion. These two are a bit tricky because what kind of time span we are dealing with is highly depending on the context. Bald can, for example, be something within hours to years. For instance, a woman could text her husband, of course not while driving, that she's gonna be home soon. Ich bin bald zu Hause. Then this could pretty much be everything depending on how long the car ride or the walk is. Everything ranging from like 20 minutes to maybe 2 hours. Or you could say, boah, ist schon bald wieder Weihnachten, ne? It's almost Christmas again. When it's still October or something, so it could mean months. Or another example, nein, ich will aber nicht zu Opa, der riecht immer nach Mettwurst. Doch, wir besuchen jetzt den Opa, der ist schon 88 Jahre alt, der ist bald nicht mehr hier. I don't want to visit Grandpa because he smells like salami. Yes, we're gonna visit Grandpa because he's 88 years old already and maybe soon he's not gonna be there anymore. Okay, this was a bit dark, but you get my point. Demnächst can be used in a really similar fashion, except that the two ends of this time span are like cut off. It can not really mean hours and it can also not really mean years. It's more like a matter of days to months, I would say. Antonio, hey, wie geht's? Von dir habe ich ja ewig nichts gehört. Lass uns doch demnächst mal wieder vögeln. So I would put demnächst here with like a time span like this and bald here. Next up, eines Tages, which means one day. And of course it's again depending on the context of how long it's gonna take until then. If you say, oh, eines Tages möchte ich mal wieder frische Erdbeeren essen, then this could be tomorrow. But if you say, oh, eines Tages möchte ich mal so erfolgreich sein wie mein Vater, then this could take everything from days to years, or it may even never happen.
For this reason we should put it here.
I don't know why I sang this, but yeah, there it is. All of this leads us to the vaguest statement ever, which is irgendwann. At some point. Seriously, this can be everything, ranging from seconds to never gonna happen. It's all depending on the context that you use it in. Ja, irgendwann heute mache ich meine Hausaufgaben. Weißt du was? Ich fange jetzt an, dann habe ich's hinter mir. Irgendwann wird auch wieder die Sonne scheinen. Irgendwann bin ich vielleicht mal einer der richtig großen YouTube-Stars. That means that irgendwann is basically the whole line itself. Let's put it in here like this. Talking about becoming a huge YouTube star, there's also nie and niemals, which means never in German. Of course, this goes here, and now we are done with our amazing graph. I'm gonna leave it on for a couple of seconds so that you can all make a screenshot. Click. Done? Okay. Alright, Babbits, I really hope that you enjoyed today's video and that you learned something. If you know more German words describing time spans, then please share them in the comments below. Tell me which one you find the most confusing and maybe you have a fun little story to share. I really hope that you liked today's video. If so, please leave a thumbs up because that would make me really happy. If you want to watch another video of Don't Trust Rabbit, you can find one right here. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram or Facebook, or even support the channel on Patreon. This would really mean a lot to me. Now I wish you all a very beautiful day. Check out my other videos if you'd like to, and hopefully we're gonna see each other in my next video. Bye!